Welcome into the video. This is Dylan, your host for the Third and Wrong YouTube channel today. Normally I am with Gage and Mike, but if you've been watching the last couple of videos, you might already know they are busy with school and work right now. So it's just me and I'm still dropping content for you guys. This one's going to be more Colts focused. I just got to get something off my chest right now. So I'm going to do that here right after this quick intro video. But before we go there, drop a like, drop a comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Helps us out a bunch. And yeah, let's go ahead into the video. All right, like I said, I got something to get off my chest here with some Colts content for you guys. I am just baffled. I am baffled right now. I was on Twitter, and which I should just never do. And you shouldn't be on Twitter either because they have just garbage takes on there. I was going through Twitter today and I see more than just one, more than just a handful of people saying that the Colts should trade Jonathan Taylor. I I don't get the logic. So they're saying right now we should trade Jonathan Taylor for a first round pick. For who? Like who are you going to put in there and say yes, he is going to make a bigger impact than Jonathan Taylor, who just had the best running back season of last season. He was the best running back by very large margins. He's very impactful in both the run game and passing game, and he has been an extremely good workhorse for the better part of a year and a half. I mean, obviously, he has an ankle injury at this moment, but he's never been injured in his career. Ankle injuries can pass as long as they're not super like ligament like damaged injuries, which hopefully that's not what the case is. But Jonathan Taylor will be back and he will be healthy. He takes care of his body very seriously, and I have no doubt that he'll be back and ready to go. So you're giving up on a rather cheap running back, right? Less than $1 million, if I'm not mistaken, as a cap hit, being a second round running back, who's already proven to be one of the best, if not the best, running backs in the league, for a chance at a player who might impact our team with a very low hit rate when it is compared to the hit rate that Jonathan Taylor already is. So I don't understand it. Like in the comments, just let me know like why it would make sense at all, and I will respond with something because it just does not make sense to me. And I've seen people say like either a first round pick or the same package that the Panthers gave for Christian McCaffrey, but to me, you're just giving away something that is a known commodity, right? With a team that is ready to go right now for I don't like I don't get it. Like for what? Like are we looking for another edge rusher, which we haven't been able to draft? Are we looking for, another cornerback, which, we do fine without having to draft a first round corner? Like what are we looking for if not for either a quarterback or a left tackle? Which if we can trade Jonathan Taylor to the first round pick or first overall pick, maybe. Like that to me is a little bit more interesting than just trading for a first round pick, right? But even then, you don't know what kind of quarterback you're getting. So I just don't get that part. So fill me in on why you think that Jonathan Taylor should be traded, if at all, because to me it just sounds like a bunch of nonsense. But that brings me to something else, which with the Colts, I kind of just mentioned it now, but people are saying that the Colts need to draft, a C.J. Stroud or a who's the other guy, Bryce Young. If for some reason we lose Matt Ryan and we end up with a top 5 overall pick, sure, yeah, let's go and do that. But we can't just go up and trade the future, or sorry, trade the now for the future, if that makes sense. If if we're trading people like, Quentin Nelson, um, Darius Leonard, Kenny Moore, people of that caliber within the Colts, organization, for a CJ Stroud or a Bryce Young, one, we're going to have a worse team for them to come to, right? Like the Broncos are going through it right now. They have a worse team that they, had than when they, or before they traded for Russell Wilson. They gave up one of their better defensive tackles, and they gave up one of their better tight ends, and they also gave up a bunch of draft capital. So doing that is just not smart. And for the Colts, simply we're not going to do that, right? Like Chris Ballard's not going to just trade, key pillars of our team for a Bryce Young or a CJ Stroud. Their mantra has always been, the team is more important than the one person, or the one person is not as important as the whole team. And that also brings me to, what kind of quarterback, if not Matt Ryan, for the next 2 or 3 years, would the Colts go after? For me, I don't think they're going to go after someone that has all the tools. We've seen players with all the tools before. We've seen, highly regarded talent just not work in the NFL. So you got to go with what the Colts have been preaching for the last couple of years, which is character, right? Character over ceiling, essentially, or the character defines the ceiling, is more of what Chris Ballard says. And I want to take this as a time to highlight two people. One is going to be Jalen Hurts in Philadelphia. And I was very, very shocked that the Colts did not draft him the year that we drafted Pittman and Jonathan Taylor, which, I'm happy that we have both of those guys. But I am just shocked that the Colts did not go for Jalen Hurts, mainly because he has that great mobility. He has that, end zone, red zone, magic where he can run the ball, he can throw, that kind of thing. And he had that character. I think that was very evident that Jalen Hurts got better. He learned and he took lumps and became better in college. And we've seen him get better in the NFL. And so I was like, okay, this is the quarterback that the Colts are going to draft, right? This is going to be Jalen Hurts. He's going to come in, and that's going to be it, right? But we end up going with Phillip Rivers, and we didn't worry about drafting a quarterback that year, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but now I'm looking at this draft. It's like, okay, who is a Jalen Hurts? And I think there's two people in the draft, maybe three, that I'm very interested in with the Colts, and I think they're likely going to be around the first round pick if the Colts decide to go with a quarterback in the first round. I think the one that's the most exciting right now is Hendon Hooker out of Tennessee. One, he has good size, good mobility, and a good arm. He just torched the Alabama defense and put up the most points on Alabama in almost 100 years, if I'm not mistaken. Like, it was almost 100 years. He scored the most on that defense. And if you're going to say, what's the most NFL-like defense that you can play in college football, it's Alabama. I mean, Hendon Hooker is not a perfect prospect. I'm not going to say he's better than CJ Stroud or Bryce Young. I'm not even sure about that. But Hendon Hooker has a trait that I think the Colts are going to say is, damn, he got better. He has beaten teams with arguably more talent, and he's done it with, the lights on him. He's done it with basically the full attention on him in that Alabama-Tennessee game. And I think that really brings up Hooker's prospect. But the thing that people are going to say is he's too old, right? He's, I think, like 24, 25 years old, which is really old. I don't think that's a great thing, right? Like, you do want to have this person be a 22, 23-year-old. But we're looking at a team that's ready to go now. It's not a team that is like saying, okay, let's trust the process. 3 years down the road, we might be ready to go all in for a championship or a Super Bowl. You have a team right now that needs someone that can handle the pressure. who can handle the coaching, who can handle the workload and everything like that. And I think someone that's a little bit more mature is probably a good thing for the Colts. So I like Hendon Hooker for that reason. Another interesting name. He's going to be talked about in the first round, but I'm not necessarily super high on him talent wise. But Anthony Richardson out of Florida, I believe he was with Oregon before, but he makes some pretty athletic plays. I think he'll be within the reach of the Colts. But again, it's a matter of match. I don't know anything about him off the field, so I'm not going to comment on anything like that. But he is someone that I think is interesting for the Colts. And then the last name, and I got to say I am biased on this one because I am a BYU fan. I don't know if any of our watchers know that or however. But if you watch Jaron Hall, he's another older quarterback, like I was talking about with Hendon Hooker. But he shows a lot of traits extremely similar to Jaron Hall. He has run ability, but he also has I'm not going to just run the ball to run the ball ability. Like he has I'm going to take my time. I'm going to take my reads. He's not as well tested as Jalen Hurts was going into the draft. And obviously he doesn't play SEC teams day in, day out like they did. I guess Big 12 teams with when he was at Oklahoma. But obviously Jalen Hurts was more tested. But that's the thing with Jaron Hall is his arm is better than Jalen Hurts. He has a better ability to throw the ball. He is more accurate, and he has that ability to run the ball too. And that's where I would bring up the age thing again is that maturity level goes a long ways with locker rooms, especially mature locker rooms. The Colts aren't a super young team right now like they used to be. You got all of our pillars have been in the league at least 4 or 5 years, if not longer. And we're getting to that point where it's a maturation process where, now it's the time to be this perennial playoff team and not mess around with these 1-4 starts. And so I would say the best quarterbacks, if the Colts are taking one in this, upcoming draft, preferably I would not want to take a first round pick if that's possible, right? Like Hendon Hooker, if it's a match made in heaven, spend it. Do what you can to get him, obviously. But if you're not sold on Hendon Hooker, and most people right now at least will say that Jaron Hall is a second round quarterback, if not a very late first round pick, or they might be even lower on him. I might be high on Jaron Hall, but if you take a second round pick and put that to a Jaron Hall, and admittedly give Matt Ryan another year if he's healthy and if he's producing like he is right now, give him another year, get Jaron Hall into the situation, and let him be the one to take over the reins when it's appropriate. Don't force the issue, but when it's appropriate. And then the thing about the age, right? People say, well, by the time he's on his next contract, he's already 30. It's like, okay, yeah. But like one, obviously you want someone that's just good. You don't really care about, the next 20 years. And with the health of quarterbacks going up longer and longer, being older and older as they play quarterback with the way that penalties are being called and such, you're going to have, quarterbacks go and play, 12 to 15 years as long as they produce. So, if you're telling someone like you got a player for 12 to 15 years that's going to be viable, like the age doesn't really matter for quarterbacks as much now. So but those are my guys if we're drafting: Hendon Hooker, Jaron Hall, and Anthony Richardson. Obviously I'm going to do a lot more film study on them, and I'll probably break down this a little bit more into the future, but that's the end of this video. If you got this far, definitely give me a like. Drop a comment. If you feel like there's a better quarterback out there, definitely drop that in there. I'll pay some attention to that. And then subscribe. It helps us out a bunch if you're not already subscribed. It helps us to keep going with putting out more content. So other than that, enjoy football.